YouTube, what's going on? What's going on? So, today I'd like to make a video explaining a little bit on what's going on with SPY and basically just using the chart as an example on why over the last couple of days you guys have been wondering like what's going on. This thing's going up, it's going down, like pick a direction already, right? So I'm gonna slowly bring some charts bring some chart up so you guys can see what I've been drawing. Okay, so for this one I'm gonna go with show. No, actually I don't want to show that one yet. So let's start off with the actually let's start off right off. Let's start off with why it's doing it. I'll go over the support and resistance after. Let's get right to it. Now, what you see right here is a thing called fair value gap. And how they're formed is basically imbalance in the market. So whenever you have three candles and the wicks are not touching, you get a fair value gap, which means basically there was a lot of buying or a lot of selling, right? So there was so much that it could not fill this imbalance right here. So right here you have an imbalance, right? This happened on October 1st, right? So when this sell-off happened, we came and we dropped. Where did we drop and bounce off? Right here, this fair value gap. I'm gonna go back in replay mode to show you that this has been here all this time. Now this fair value gap is strong buyers. This is where the buyers are, and these are where the sellers are. So what's happening now on the 4-hour time frame? On the lower time frame, they are still here, but it's just a little bit harder to understand why. It's a little. Sometimes you get disrespected, and sometimes they will bounce. It just depends. Like for example, this right here, fair value gap was created, right here, and then we came back. We filled the gap and continue. But as you can clearly see, there's a lot of sellers, and as you can clearly also see, it's being rejected, right? Again, some days it will respect it, and then some days it won't, right? When I say respect it, meaning you can rely on the fact that it will either bounce and some days it won't, right? So let's go back to the higher time frame because these are a little bit easier to see and understand. So everyone has been trying to short the market, right? You see red candles, they're like, let's short. But guess what? There's a wall of buyers here that's waiting to buy it up. So every time we dip down, we bought up. This is why when you buy puts, you go up, or when you go up, you go down because there's sellers. Now, this is how I personally plan to play SPY, right? I actually bought a call option somewhere down here. Now it's scary because you're like, man, like that's crazy. Like why would you buy it down here? Now, we can still go lower, by the way, right? We could go a little bit lower down to 564 and we're still in an uptrend, personally, okay? As long as we don't close below this right here, then it gets a little messy. So now I'm going to show you my drawings, right? And yeah, so this is basically, let me see if I can hide. So basically I'm gonna hide the indicators, and now I'm just gonna have the drawing, right? So each one of these lines you see are the 4-hour time frame support and resistance, my 4-hour support and resistance lines. A lot of these were here before this, we had to bounce off it. Now, the red that you see right here is if we close above here, then we would be back in the bull market. So above 574 exactly. It's not just close, but we keep pushing up. We're basically now back into the next leg up. Now, this is how I plan to play it. And the green, meaning if we lose this green, my target is right here, right? And the reason why I have it says buy here at, well, not here actually, it's actually right here. So basically buy at support, sell at resistance. That's basically what this means. And so the reason why I see this right here as what I believe was going to happen is right here. And by the way, this uptrend that you see right here, trust me, it's the way I draw mine, it's very powerful, very, very good. Now, let me show you guys. So you see how I drew, let me put everything up. Do you see how I drew this right here? Like coming down, up, and then I say target right here. Well, the reason is because this uptrend has been broken. Now, obviously, as it broke, you're gonna go, oh, I'm gonna jump into puts. Doesn't work exactly like that. You could if you want to, but you could also lose because you never know which one is gonna be the fake out. You know, but we broke out, we came up, we came down, we bounced right here, right? Now we create a fair value gap right here and this one right here, right? So, as I said before, whenever we fill the gap, we tend to bounce up, right? And the same thing vice versa. When we fill the gap up, we come down, which is why a lot of times you guys get fake out to the top because you're thinking we're going to go up, but sometimes you just fill in the gap, right? So, yeah, so that's basically it. About puts, about call option here, and to write it up, which is where everyone's now thinking short, right? Market goes up. Everyone thinking up, the market continues down. You ever been fooled like that before? A lot of times, right? So that's just what I personally believe. Doesn't mean that we can't go higher because we can go up, fill the gap, keep going up. Like I just know that right here would be my stop loss because if we keep pushing above here, then I know, okay, trend's broken, we're gonna keep going up. And just to go over Nvidia as well. So Nvidia was pushing today. I bought puts some right here. I bought puts right here because it filled that fair value gap I drew. You know what? No, it was actually I set an alert right here. So I bought it in the alert and bought it at the alert, and then it just came down because it was filling that fair value gap. So with Nvidia, as you can clearly see, there's a lot of them. Now, this fair value gap was created this morning. So 1, 2, 3, not touching. So now, in about an hour and a half, what do you think is going to happen? If we come back down to here, we'll most likely bounce because the buyers were so powerful that this is what they're doing right now. They're pushing Nvidia up. But at the same time, there's a sell wall right here. So if we fill this gap, we can come down, or we can go and keep filling this gap. We don't really know. That's why we use a stop loss. But I'm buying another put when we fill this gap at 125 up here. I'm buying another put because I bought one here, and I actually added to my stock as well. It's so powerful this fair value gap is. I'll tell you guys where did I add to my account. To the T right here. It was to the T. I bought right here. I wish I bought options, but I bought right here. Why? Because I saw it was coming down and the fair value gap right here, and there was no other fair value gaps. I'm like, you know what? I will add to my long term because this is the last support that I see until they create a new one, at least on the 5-minute time frame. There's plenty on the 4-hour. And I said, let me buy right there, and bam, rocket. I really wish I bought call options instead, but yeah. So fair value gaps. Let me see if I can see any live trades right now. Okay, this is another one right here. Nvidia really respects the fair value gaps. I realize SPY, nah, on the 5-minute it can for the most part, but Nvidia, Tesla, these high volume stocks tend to kind of respect it. So basically, let's go over a quick live. This is live. So this is what happened. Like if I was playing this, I would play call option here, and I probably wouldn't have paid it. You could, but I probably wouldn't have because I would have liked it to at least fill the gap a little bit before. But I've seen it bounce off just the top as well. Plenty of time. Just depends on where you want to take the risk. But for this one, I would have bought it. Yes, I would have bought it right here. Bought a call option right here to write it up. But there's no fair value gap to the downside right here. It was clean. See, 1, 2, 3 wicks are touching. So that's basically what I believe SPY is doing right now. And also, there's one last thing. You see, like when you see stuff like this, right? You're wondering like why, like what's going on, like why is the stock going up and then coming back down and going back up and then going back down? A lot of times it's just fair value gaps. You're stuck in a an imbalanced fair value gap where it's not one-sided. Like another quick example, you see how Nvidia is? There's not a lot it's coming down, but there's not a lot of imbalance to the upside. There's only this one. So you can actually, when it comes up here, you could play a put to the downside again, right? Because it carried this one. But you see how it's one-sided, mostly up? That's a clear sign of an uptrend. And then look at SPY. Like if you don't see this type of stuff in your trading, you will get wicked around. Trust me, you will. Like I'm watching the stock, and to me it's clear as day. Like, oh, fair value gap up, and the fair value gap down. So we're basically stuck in a sideways movement stock. But then I went to the 4-hour time frame and said, you know what? Let me look what's going on in the 4-hour, and the 4-hour tells me, oh, okay, we're here. We're in this fair value gap. It's going to get filled partly so far, and it's using it as support. And I potentially believe it's going to go up and come back down, clearing it completely and going back down to at least this fair value gap down here. But I have, yeah, basically. So that's my prediction for SPY. Am I right? I don't know. Could be completely wrong, but this is what I see. It makes sense to me. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Later.